Hello everybody, it's Leslie Fightmaster and welcome to another total body workout. This one we will go to Pincha Mayurasana or forearm balance. If you have two blocks and a strap, get those handy. I'm going to start sitting tall, placing the palms together. Take a moment here, set your intention for your practice. As always, all intentions are welcome. We're going to start on blocks. So the lower block's going to go right at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, and the other one will go underneath your head. So start with the one underneath your bottom tips of the shoulder blades a little bit lower, and the one under your head a little bit higher, and then you can always change them. So I'm starting in this position. I'm going to keep my knees a little bit bent because that feels better on my lower back. You can straighten yours or not. The block under my head's a little off, so I'm going to actually put it lower. This is giving me a bigger opening in my upper back. So you can play with the height. If it's too much of an opening, put both blocks down lower. If you want more, then you just put the block under your head down lower. And while you're here, you're just going to allow that block in the upper back to settle into that area. As we move through our postures today, one of the things that we want to do is we want to get the upper back to open up a little bit, which means it will move in this direction, as if the block is pressing the shoulder blades forward toward the chest. And then I have one more variation with the block, and that is instead of having the block go horizontally, I'm going to move it so that it's vertically, and then it'll move into a bigger portion of my thoracic spine, my upper back. And I'll continue to have the other block underneath my head. So as you're here in whatever position you have your blocks in, just start to lengthen your breath, taking long, smooth inhales and exhales. Breathing in and out through the nose if it's available to you. And the reason we breathe through the nose is to slow down the breath a little. It's harder to breathe really quickly through the nose in comparison to breathing quickly through the mouth. That's easier. We're just going to be here about another 30 seconds or so. So just a few more rounds of breath. Let your shoulder blades relax. Make sure that your jaw's releasing. And then bring your hands underneath your low back to press up, and then we'll move the blocks out of the way. I'm going to put mine by the front of the mat so they're handy. And then come onto your back again. Line up your heels underneath your knees. Take your feet hips width apart. Feet are parallel. Pull the belly in. Inhale. Lift up into bridge pose, tailbones reaching toward the backs of your knees, and then exhale, slowly lower one vertebra at a time. So your hip bones lift up toward the lower ribs as you inhale and lift. Keep the chin away from the chest. And as you exhale, lower back down one vertebra at a time. And once again, press down to lift up. Inhale, stretching out the front of the body, spiral the thighs in. Exhale, lower. Now we'll add our arms. So as you inhale and lift, reach the arms up and over. Tailbone reaches towards backs of knees. Exhale, bring the arms down and lower slowly. I'm going to move away from the wall a little. And again, inhale, lift up. Reach the arms up and over. Shoulder blades release away from the ears. Exhale and lower the arms down. So palms will face each other as you make this movement. So once again, inhale, lift the arms up and over as you come to bridge. Pinky fingers face the ceiling. Chin is away from the chest. Exhale, lower back down, take the arms all the way by your sides. This time lift the head and shoulders up, just a little core work. So again, inhale, arms up and over into bridge. Exhale, slowly lower. When you get all the way down, lift the head and shoulders, reach the fingertips forward, draw the belly in. Again, inhale, lifting into bridge, arms reach. And exhale, lower down vertebra by vertebra, and then lift the head and shoulders when you get to the bottom, and hold here, and then release. Draw the knees into the chest. And then we're going to keep the right leg drawing in and extend the left leg straight out onto the floor. Point the left toes up toward the ceiling. Take an inhale. And an equal exhale. Next inhale, extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. You can hold on behind the thigh or down by the calf, or maybe you'll take your toe. If you have a strap handy, you can wrap the strap around the ball of your foot. Any of those variations will work. Now draw the right hip toward the left foot, toward the front of the mat. So hips are level. Take a moment to stretch out the hamstrings. And now bend the knee again, hold on to the shin, lift the head and shoulders up, and this time lift the left leg off the floor. You can cradle the head in the hands, or keep holding the shin, or reach the fingertips forward. That's most intense. Now extend the right leg up any amount, and then exhale, lift yourself up, and inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. See if you can do it without holding onto the right leg, but if you need it, use it. Lower down. Once more, belly lifts, inhale up, stay up. Take both legs up, boat pose. Bend the knees or keep them straight. Careful of your lower back. Sometimes legs straight can bother the back. Take a breath here. Slowly lower. You can always put your hands down here to lower. And all the way down to your back. Now we'll draw the left knee into the chest. And the right leg extends. This is Ekapada Apanasana. Then extend the left leg up, hold on behind the thigh, or down by the calf. Take the toe, or use your strap. The strap goes on the ball of the foot if you're using it. Now draw the left hip forward toward the front of your mat, so hips are more level. Take just a couple breaths in and out through the nose, again keeping that steady breathing, little constriction in the back of the throat if you can. It's Ujjayi breathing. And then we'll release that, bend the left knee, draw it into the chest again. Exhale, head and shoulders off the floor. Lift the right leg off the floor. You can cradle the head in the hands, reach the fingertips forward, or keep holding the left shin. Draw the belly in for 3 breaths. And 2. Now extend the left leg up, inhale. Exhale, lift your torso up. Try to come all the way up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold on to the leg if you need to, but if not, don't. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, stay up. Boat pose again. Lift the chest, knees can be bent or straight. Long spine, chest lifted, no rounding the back here. Take another breath and release, crossing at the shins. We'll make our way forward onto hands and knees, and then walk the hands in front of the shoulders. Turn the triceps back and lift up and back for downward facing dog. And then just start to bicycle the legs, bending one knee and the other here. Stretching out. Make sure the arms are shoulders distance, the feet are hips width. Bend both knees, stretch out the spine, hips high, and then extend the heels down. If you can straighten the legs, firm the quadricep muscles. Keep the belly and ribs pulled in, and then we'll inhale forward to plank pose, top of a push-up. Shoulders over wrists, tailbones reaching to heels. Exhale, lower to the floor slowly. Knees can always come down first. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath shoulders. Gently pull the elbows back toward the feet. Tailbones reaching toward the heels. Pubic bone presses down so the hip bones can lift. One more breath here. And then lower. Hands by low ribs, tuck the toes under, pressing up to plank. Keep the knees down if you wish. Lift the hips, downward facing dog, all the way back. So spread out the fingers nice and wide. Press into the base of your fingers as your forearms lift up and away from the mat. Look forward, bend the knees, hips high, either step or hop the feet up. Take an inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, hips over the heels if the legs are straight. Press through the feet, rise up on your inhale, look up, lengthen. And as you exhale, come to Samastitihi. So at the top of the mat, feet parallel, belly in, legs firm. As you take a moment just to connect with the breath. And then inhale, sweep the arms out, around and up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Inhale, look up, halfway, lengthen the spine, fingertips on floor, shins. Exhale, step to plank and lower chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Knees can be down, that's fine. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, back into down dog. And just a couple breaths here. So try and keep your inhales and exhales equal in length. And check to make sure you're not holding tension anywhere you don't need it. I always check my shoulders and my jaw. Look forward, hips high, step or hop your feet. Take an inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, fold in. Press through the feet, come up with a long spine on the inhale. Keep the belly lifted, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, Samastitihi, which means steady balance. Inhale again, arms reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. Crown of the head reaching down. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the knees, step or float back, chaturanga, shoulders no lower than the elbows. Inhaling, press through the hands and feet, thighs and knees off the floor if you're in up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Return to your steady breathing and return to the intention that you set. Maybe it's to be kinder to yourself today. All intentions are always welcome. And then bend the knees, hips high. Step or hop your feet up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold in. And press down to rise up. Inhale. And to Samastitihi, exhale. And we'll bend the knees into Utkatasana. Inhale, chair pose. Sit back. Exhale, belly to thighs, then straighten the knees any amount. Inhale, look up. And exhale, step or float back for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale, then bend the knee, open up through the hip. Press evenly through the arms and the shoulders. Reach down through the left heel. As you exhale, step it all the way up. Stay on the ball of your back foot. And inhale for high lunge. Reach up nice and tall. Pull the right hip back. And then arms to a T. We'll bring the right arm over the left arm. Gardasana arms. Or you can touch your opposite shoulders. That works just as well. Lift your chest. Bend the back knee for a moment. Lengthen the tailbone down. Lift the hip points up. Keep the right hip drawing back. And breathe here. And then inhale, reach up tall. And then exhale, interlace fingers behind you. Lengthen as you inhale, opening the chest. And as you exhale, we're just going to pause here. Keep the front ribs in. So try to make this back bend in the upper back. Release the hands down and step back to plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhaling, press up, hands and feet. Exhale, use the belly to transition to down dog. Left leg up, inhale. Exhale, now we'll bend the knee, opening the hip. Press evenly through the arms. Keep that right heel pressing toward the floor. And now squaring off the hips, look forward. Lightly step it up. Stay on the ball of your back foot. Rise up, inhale. Bend the back knee to get length in the lower back. Lift the hip points up. So the pelvis will tilt forward a little. Pull the left hip back, arrow straight arms. Now arms to a T. Left over right for Gardasana arms, eagle arms. So So lift the elbows a little, but lift the chest a little bit more. And you can always touch your shoulders if those full arms don't work for you. The hip bones will lift up toward the lower ribs and lengthen through the back of your body, through your spine. Arms release, interlace fingers behind you, other pinky on top, or you can hook thumbs. And we're just going to pause here. Nice chest opening. Keep the ribs in. Look up maybe just a little if that feels okay on your neck. And then release. Bring the hands down, stepping back. Now remember, you can always go to down dog, skip the vinyasa. Otherwise, exhale chaturanga, inhale up dog, exhale down dog, or modify. If you want to break, take a break. Push the pause button, take a child's pose. You can always do that anytime you wish. It is your practice, after all, your body, your experience. I'll lift that right leg again. And as you exhale, step it up, staying on the ball of the back foot once again for high lunge. Make sure that right knee stays over the ankle. Bend the back knee, drop the tailbone. And now bending your right arm. And then take the left arm behind you for Gomukhasana arms. Now if you can't reach, you can always use a strap. Your right elbow points straight up and roll the tricep forward. Your left shoulder rolls right back to widen the collarbones. Keep the front ribs drawing in and down. Some nice shoulder stretches. Just another breath here. And then release. Bring the hands back down to the floor through a vinyasa or, float your right leg up. As you float it up, you're going to come right onto your forearms. So this is three-legged dolphin pose. Oh, all got in my way a little. As you lift that right leg up, lift it from the inner thigh. Now take it down, regular dolphin. Might need to walk the feet back a little. Keep the elbows right in line with the shoulders. Don't let them go wider. And now press up to down dog. You might come to the knees first for that. Left leg up, inhale. And exhale, step it up, staying on the ball of your back foot. And come on up into your crescent pose. Going to reach the left arm up, take it to the upper back, right arm out to the side, and then bring it behind. Sometimes it's easier to clasp on one side than the other. One side's usually more open. Use a strap, or you can always hold your shirt if you don't have a strap. So the left tricep rolls forward. Left elbow points straight up. Right shoulder head rolls back. Again, lifting the hip points up toward the lower ribs. And try to lengthen through the back body, through the spine. All right, so we're going to make this transition again. Bring the hands to the floor. You're going to sweep the left leg up. As you do, come right down onto the forearms. You're in three-legged dolphin. The left leg is lifting from the inner thigh. Don't let the hip open. Just another breath here. Keep lifting the shoulders away from the floor. Now set it down, regular dolphin. So as you press into the elbows, you'll lift the shoulder blades up toward the waist and then press extra weight into the thumb and first finger side of the hand because the triceps are going to roll back towards your feet. But the forearms need to go in the opposite direction. So press the inner wrist, inner forearm down. Now, if you're watching, you can see this little boy in the background. He was so cute. Inhale to dolphin plank. He started doing yoga with us. How cute is that? His mom was there like, oh, good job doing yoga. So sweet. And then we'll make our way back into dolphin. Sorry for the distraction, but it's totes adorbs. And now we're going to make our way into child's pose. Take a rest. He's going to stay in up dog, apparently. And then coming back up, we'll tuck the toes, come back into downward facing dog. Spin the inner thighs back, reach the heels toward the floor, outer edges of the feet parallel. He's still doing his yoga. Look forward, bend the knees, step or hop up. Take an inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, fold forward. There he goes. Inhale, press down through the feet. Reach all the way up, bend to the knees first, and come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight in the heels, and then back to Samastitihi. That was fun. So again, Utkatasana as you inhale, bend the knees, reach up. And then exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. Open the chest on your inhale, chest expansion. And then exhale and fold forward. So if your legs are straight, shift your hips forward over the heels. If you've got a little bend in the knee, I've got a little bend today. So you can keep the weight in the heels a little bit more. It's okay. Otherwise, make sure to shift forward. Crown of the head reaches down. The arms are reaching up and over any amount. Now return the hands to the low back, start to bend the knees, unclasp back to regular Utkatasana chair pose. Take a breath here, and then swim the arms back again. Other pinky on top, or you can hook thumbs. Inhale, open up the chest, widen the collarbones. Exhale, belly to thighs, and then straighten through the legs. Crown of the head reaching down, let it just hang down there. And again, firm the leg muscles if you can straighten the legs, and shift forward so hips are over heels. Gaze off the tip of the nose, just a nice soft gazing point. Always checking in with the breath. And look forward, bend the knees, inhale to reach up. Again, sit back. Weight is in the heels. And then we'll fold once again, all the way forward, Uttanasana, hips over heels. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press through your hands and feet, and exhale to downward facing dog. Come down onto your knees. I'm going to keep the hips right above the heels, but then walk your hands forward. This is called Anahatasana. So the chest will reach toward the floor any amount. You rest your head on the floor if it'll reach, or always use a block for your head if you wish. So as the arms reach forward, again, press weight into the thumb first finger side of the hands and the inner wrists and forearms. But the outer upper arms, the triceps, will go the opposite direction. They're going to spin away from each other. They're going to wrap down toward the floor. The inner upper arms, the biceps, will lift up toward the ceiling. It's a nice way to open up the chest and shoulders. And then we'll walk the hands back. Come on up. Tuck the toes and downward dog. Inhale, ripple the spine forward to plank pose. I'm going to come down onto the forearms one at a time. If that's too much, take the knees down first. So to forearm plank. Tailbones reaching toward the heels, shoulders and hips about in the same line. Now press back up to plank, one hand at a time. And we'll do it one more time. So look where your right hand is. That's where your right elbow goes. Left elbow where left hand just was. Breathe here. Keep lifting the backs of the knees and make sure your head doesn't drop. And then lift up. Dolphin pose, walk the feet in for a moment. Same idea here, triceps spin back, thumb and first finger side of the hand presses down, inner wrist, inner forearm. So we're going to come and set up for Pincha Mayurasana. If that isn't in your practice, if you're not practicing forearm balance, you can always instead stay with dolphin and dolphin plank. If you've got a block and a strap, we're going to use them. But first, one more stretch. I'm going to take the elbows right up against the wall. And then the wrists right above the elbows, elbows no wider than shoulders. And then scoot your body back as much as you can. And this way, you're getting a great stretch again in the shoulders. This is one of my favorite stretches. So the legs are active. We're not just letting them relax, but we don't have to work them super hard either. Keep the belly drawn in, same idea. It's engaged, but you don't have to work it real hard. Make sure those elbows don't go out wider than the shoulders. And then we'll bring the hands back by the ribs. And now we'll set up for Pincha Mayurasana. So I'm going to take a block against the wall. If you have wider shoulders, you're going to set up your blocks This way they'll be wider, so you have 2 blocks instead. Otherwise, 1 block should work. And then I'm going to make a thumb. Okay, make sure the elbows don't go wider than the shoulders. And this is what I was talking about. The tricep has to spin one way, the forearm has to spin the other way. So the upper arm goes out, the inner arm goes down and in. So if your elbows go wider than your shoulders, grab a strap, put them just above the elbows. Make an L and a backwards L with your thumbs, thumb on the bottom of the block. Walk in as far as you can, lift one leg up, and take your hop. So I'm using that strap, I'm pulling the strap away from itself, so like I'm trying to pull it in half. And then taking a rest. You can stay up longer if you wish, or just play with the little kicks. If you're not up all the way, that's fine too. And then once again, stepping one foot in, lift the other leg and hop. So if you are up and you're trying to balance, press a lot of weight into the thumb first finger side of the hand. Keep your gaze slightly forward, ribs and belly in, tailbones lifting up to the heels, and squeeze those legs. And anytime you want to break, you just take it. We're going to come down and rest. So that was our Pincha Mayurasana for the day. If you want to do more, I would encourage you to push the pause button and play around with it a little bit. Otherwise, rest in child's pose here. I'm going to turn away from the wall and come into downward facing dog as I untuck my shirt again. Arms shoulder distance, feet hips width, arms and ears in line. Inhaling plank, chaturanga exhale. Inhaling upward dog or cobra. Use the belly muscles, lift the hips up and stretch back to downward dog. We're going to come through and sit. So look forward, step or hop, and come to seated for bridge pose. Like we did earlier, except a little different. So we'll take the feet hips width, heels under knees again, outer edges of the feet parallel. The toes want to turn out, so don't turn them out. Press into the heels, inhale, lift into bridge. Roll the shoulders under, interlace the fingers if you wish. Keep the chin away from the chest, spiral the thighs in as if you're holding a block between your inner thighs. Keep the belly drawn in gently here and breathe more into the chest for this one. If you breathe big breaths into the belly, it can compress your low back. And then we'll lower and rest with soles of feet together, knees apart. Just a little break. So in a moment, we'll come up into wheel pose if you choose. I'm going to use blocks today for wheel pose. So if you do have blocks and you have tight shoulders or any tightness in the shoulders, which most of us do, take your blocks right up against the wall and lie down. And then take your hands on the blocks, just like you would set up for a regular wheel. So my palms are touching the blocks, my fingertips are on the side. If your elbows tend to splay out, many people's elbows do, take that strap right above the elbow again. Now, pressing up first onto the crown of the head, make sure your wrists and elbows line up, and then press up. And this one felt really good today on the blocks. Make sure the outer edges of the feet stay parallel. Stretch out the front of the body, tailbones reaching toward the backs of the knees. Hip bones are lifting toward the lower ribs. And right where that block was in the beginning of class, those shoulder blades are moving toward the chest. And then chin into chest to lower down. And rest. Soles of feet together, knees apart. Now, if you feel like you come up into wheel pose and you have compression in your lower back, instead of putting your hands on the blocks, you can try it with your feet on the blocks. So I'll show you that one. I like to put the blocks the long way against the wall. And when I put my feet on, I just kind of put it right into the arch of the foot. Now, I'll warn you, pressing up is a little harder with your feet on the blocks, but once you get up, it usually feels great. So hands by ears, pause at the crown of the head, line up your elbows and wrists, and then press on up. So that gives you lots and lots of space in your lower back. Keep spiraling the thighs in. And imagine that you're just being pulled in two separate directions to lengthen out your spine. And then chin in, and we'll lower down. And this time, let's hug the knees in. So we always wait till we're done with all of our back bends before we hug the knees in. And then once you hug them in, then you can rock side to side, make little circles on your back, whatever feels nice. Now roll yourself off to the right, press yourself up. I'm going to turn the other direction. Put my blocks away and sit in Dandasana staff pose. So extending the legs. And now sit up really tall. Lift the chest. Then bend your right knee in and draw it in toward your chest. Bring your right hand behind you. Lift left arm up as you inhale. And then exhale, take it across and twist Marichasana C. Every inhale gets some length. And then as you exhale, roll the right shoulder back and twist a little. So always using the breath with the movement. Every movement has a breath in our practice. And then head to center as you inhale and unwind as you exhale. Left leg in, take the left hand behind your back. Inhale, right arm straight up. Exhale, take it across for the twist. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, twist. Roll the left shoulder back. So even here in this twist, take your mind's eye to where the block was in the beginning of the class, that upper back, bottom tips of shoulder blades. Imagine those shoulder blades are moving forward again toward your chest. Head to center, inhale. Unwind, exhale. Soles of feet together, knees apart. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, forward for Baddha Konasana. So try and keep the spine long on this one instead of rounding the back a lot. See if you can lead just slightly with the chest to get length in the spine. Release any tension around the shoulders and in the jaw. And anywhere else you might be holding in your belly or your hips, try and let it release. Inhale to come up. And then extend the legs in front for Paschimottanasana. Inhale, arms up, pull the toes back. Exhale, hinging from the hips forward. Lengthen as you inhale. If it's hard to reach the feet, grab your strap. And exhale, forward. So you can be up high with a nice long spine, and I'd rather see that than a rounded back trying to get the head to the knees, because it's better to keep length in the spine. Not that, but that, if you're looking. Nice steady breathing. Again, let any tension release in the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. And inhale, head up. Exhale to release. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So lie back, bent knees. Then take your right ankle just past your left knee for thread the needle. Flex the right ankle. Try to bring that right hip a little bit forward. And then reach forward for the left leg, either behind the thigh or you can hold on to the shin. Keep the right toes pulling back so the right foot stays flexed. And just breathe into that hip. You can stay where you are or maybe extend the left leg to go in a little deeper. Or another option is you can cradle the right leg and extend the left leg straight out so it's like you're in pigeon pose upside down. But do whichever is the best expression of the pose for you. It never has to be the deepest, just the best stretch for you. And then we'll release that. And take the left ankle just past the right knee, flex the left ankle. So if it's hard to reach, you can always wrap a strap around the leg so that you can reach easier. Or holding the shin, holding the back of the thigh. So this is one option. And another option, if you wish, is to extend the right leg straight up or straight back. Either way. I'm bringing it back, but you can just have it straight up toward the ceiling as well. And then option 3, you can cradle the left leg, extend the right leg out onto the floor. Or if the cradling doesn't work, you can do the forklift styles. Take the elbows right underneath the calf. And then let everything else relax. Breathe into your left hip. And slowly release. And today I'll invite you to take a lot of time to get very comfortable in your Shavasana. So tailbone's going to reach towards the heels. I was pressing my head toward the back of the mat so I can get my shoulder blades to descend toward the waist. And if you want to roll up a blanket under your knees or put one under your head or make a little neck roll, do that. And then once you get into your comfortable position, allow yourself to just completely relax. Quiet mind, quiet body for Shavasana. As you're resting here just a little bit longer, I have a quote today from Rumi, the Sufi poet. And I got this from Instagram the other day. I love it. He said, "Don't worry if your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?" So we never do know, do we? Sometimes it's usually all for the best. So let's take a nice long stretch. Start to make movements in your hands and feet. Bigger breath. And then bending your knees, roll off to the right, pausing just for a moment. Use your left hand to gently come up to seated. Cross at the shins, sit up nice and tall, bring the hands together. And let's bring the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. And hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And take the hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications, sending out positive energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave today. And if you liked our class, I would love it if you pushed the like button and if you shared it with your friends. And if you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear what you thought of today's class. And go visit fightmasteryoga.com. Join our mailing list there, keep you up to date with all of our happenings. Plus, we started a new daily yoga class on our website. So for those of you who like to practice every day, and I know that there is a growing and growing group of you, and I'm stoked about it, and you like to practice every day. So we put a new class up every day, not a brand new class, but new, probably new to you, and practice with us that way. And what else can I tell you? I want you to have a really good day, that's for sure. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.